The thing to remember about English spelling is it's all about meaning first. Our spelling system is designed to communicate meaning. What does that mean exactly? We want it to be as efficient as possible for our brains to know what a word means as we are reading it. The first part that we can look at is morphology. Those are the parts that make up words. These are the bases and the suffixes or the prefixes that can be added to a base to make new words. All of the words that are made from a base with suffixes or prefixes are considered a word family. The next thing that is considered in English spelling is phonology, which is the representation of the sounds in words. That's when we look at which letters are coming together to make certain sounds that we hear. And the last part is the etymology of the word, and that's the story or the history of the word. And quite often, when we learn the story of the word, the spelling of the word all of a sudden makes sense. All of these pieces together is considered orthography, and orthography is the spelling system as a whole. These are the things that we're going to look at when we start to explore and play with words. Your job is to be curious. What words have you noticed that make you wonder about why it is spelled the way it is? Pay attention to these words. Ask questions about these words. Ready? Let's investigate. Today we're going to explore two words, walk and talk. The first way that these two words may be considered odd or unusual is because the letter A may not be making the sound that we would expect the letter A to make. It's making an ah sound. So we ask ourselves, are there any other words where A is also making this sound? And in fact, there are many, such as call, ball, all. And in fact, A makes this ah sound whenever it is hanging out with the letter L. That's what's going on there. When I say the word walk, I hear three sounds, w, ah, k. When I say the word talk, I also hear three sounds, t, ah, k. I'm representing these sounds with dots, and you'll notice that I have changed the color of the dot for the vowel in the word. I can also choose to circle the graphemes or the letters or letter combinations that are making the sounds or the phonemes that I'm hearing. W, ah, k. I don't hear, or I don't seem to hear, the letter L making a sound. And the similar thing is happening in the word talk. This leads us to wonder, what exactly is that letter L doing in there anyway? You'll recall me mentioning that the primary purpose of English spelling is to communicate meaning. Because of this, some letters in the words that we spell don't communicate a sound. In fact, they're there for another reason. And we call these letters markers. And the L in both walk and talk are considered a marker. In this case, they are both etymological markers in that they connect us to the story of the word. When we look at the word walk, we are turning to the Oxford School Dictionary of Word Origins to understand why that L is hanging out inside of the word walk. And what we discover is in Old English, this word was actually different. And I don't speak Old English, but you can see here in Wilken that there is an L in this word right here. Originally, the word in Old English meant to roll or to wander. And we know that over time, the meanings of words can change and evolve. So over time, we no longer use the Old English word, and we began to use what we know today, W-A-L-K. So why is the L there? Well, because in the Old English form of the word, it had an L in it. You can see the connections. Okay, so what about the word talk? For the word talk, I went to one of my favorite places, which is the online etymology dictionary at etymonline.com. And what I discovered there is this is a Middle English word that started being used around the 1200s. And at that point, they used the word talkin', and it meant to talk, chatter, or whisper. Interestingly enough, the word talkin' is connected to the word tale. In Old English, it would have been referred to as telu or talu. Remember, I don't speak Old English, but we can see here the connection with this L in the word. So as we're reading and as our brain is processing the written word, the written spelling of English words, we can very easily see the connection between the word tale and the word talk. Remember, a tale is like a story. So what do you do when you're talking? You're probably telling a story or a tale.